Welcome back, everybody. I hope everyone is doing fine today. I am fine myself, and let's get started. Our first root is photo. Sorry about that. Photo. I'm going to go ahead and give you the meaning, and that means light. I'm going to go ahead and give you two meanings for this. One of them is going to be photogenic. Photogenic, meaning caused by light. And my second word is going to be photograph. And the meaning of that word is image made on light. Right, I'm going to go ahead and take photograph and use it in a sentence. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. There is a photograph of me and the president. Moving on to our next root is phys. And phys means nature, medicine, and the body. I'm going to go ahead and give you an example. I'm going to give you two examples. One of them is physician, meaning doctor. And my second word is going to be physical. And the meaning of that is relating to the body. I'm going to go ahead and use physician in a sentence so you could understand it much better. And I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. She forgot to go see her physician yesterday. This is a very important root, so I'm going to go ahead and put a star here, and I'm going to put this in a box. Moving on to our next root is plastem, meaning to form, development, and forming cells. I'm going to go ahead and give you a few examples. One of them is plaster. Let me go ahead and use a different color here. Plaster, meaning a mixture of lime, sand, and water to cover walls. I'm going to go ahead and use plaster in a sentence. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. The construction workers use plaster to cover the holes in the wall. Excuse me. Our next root is numen or numeno, meaning breathing, lung, and air. I'm going to go ahead and give you an example word. Is actually a disease, and it's pneumonia. I'm going to go ahead and give you the definition, and that is inflammation of the lungs. I'm going to go ahead and use this in a sentence. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. He was hospitalized for a severe case of pneumonia. Moving on to our next root. This is an important root, so I'm going to go ahead and underline it to you after I give you the meaning, and that root is pod, meaning foot. I'm going to go ahead and put this in a box so you could understand it better. I'm going to give you an example word now. And that's podiatrist. Excuse me, podiatrist, and that means a doctor for the feet. I'm going to go ahead and use this word in a sentence so you can understand it better. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. He went to the podiatrist because his ankles were aching. Moving on to our next root is poly. Poly is a very common root, so I'm going to go ahead and underline that for you as well, or put it in a box like this. Poly means city. I'm going to go ahead and give you Actually, I'm going to go ahead and give you two examples. One of them is going to be metropolis. and I will underline that root for you so you could see it. Poly. And metropolis means a large city. I'm going to give you another example. Is police. I'm going to go ahead and underline that root for you also. And police means people who work for the government to maintain order in the city. I'm going to go ahead and use metropolis, this word right here, in a sentence. I'm going to say Istanbul is a metropolis. Moving on to our next root is poly. Poly means many, more than once. And I'm going to go ahead and underline this or put it in a box because it's in commonly used root. Actually, I'm going to even put a star here to show you how important it is. I'm going to go ahead and give you two examples. One of them is polyglot, meaning a person fluent in many languages. Also, I'm going to give you another word, and that is polygon. And the definition is shape, sorry about that, shape with 3 or more sides. I'm going to go ahead and use polygon in a sentence. I'm going to say a pentagon hexagon and octagon are all polygons. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you one more time. A pentagon, hexagon, and octagon are all polygons. Moving on to our next root is pawn. And pawn means to place and to put. I'm going to give you a couple of examples, but this is another widely used root. So I'm going to go ahead and put a star here and put that in a box for you. And pawn means to place and put. I'm going to give you an example word, which is postpone, meaning to put off doing something. I'm going to go ahead and give you another example. Is opponent. Before I move on, let me go ahead and underline these roots for you so you can see it. Pawn, pawn. And that means a person who places him or herself against an action. As you can see here, and postpone, it means to put off doing something. So I'm going to go ahead and underline to put, and an opponent, a person who places him or herself against an action. I'm going to go ahead and underline places here so you could see it much more clearly, and I'm going to go ahead and use postpone and a sentence. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. He had to postpone his meeting because his wife went into labor. Moving on to our next root, which is pop. Pop. And it means people. Pop is an widely used root, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in a box and put a little star here. And I'm going to go ahead and give you two definitions. Popular, which is my first definition, is going to be appealing to a lot of people. My second my second word is going to be population. Population. I'm going to go ahead and give you the definition, which means all of the people who live in a particular area. I'm going to go ahead and use population and a sentence so you could understand it better. I'm going to say Istanbul has a population greater than 10 million. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. Istanbul has a population greater than 10 million. Moving on to our last root, which is port. And port means to carry. I'm going to go ahead and underline this or put it in the box as well because it is an important root, and also put a star next to it. I'm going to give you two example words here. One of them is export, meaning to carry goods out of a place to another. Sorry about that. Another. And I'm going to give you another one, which is portable. And the meaning of that is able to be carried. I'm going to go ahead and use portable in a sentence. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you guys. Portable phones were introduced in the mid-80s. That is it for today, you guys. I hope you had fun.